welcome once again back here to my podcast. It is myself, Josie, with Josie Says, Pues está cabrón. Guys, before I start, do not adjust your screen. Yes, I am not in my awesome state-of-the-art headquarters, aka inside my car. I am inside my home, guys. It was too cold to sit out there in that car, and if I would have put on the heater to try to keep warm or whatnot, that was not going to work, guys. So I attempted, it didn't work. So I kicked everybody out of the house and I went ahead and I said, you know what? I'll just take it inside. So if you guys like this new, this new view, let me know, guys. Maybe I'll keep it in here. Anyways, so before we start, like always, I do want to tell you guys that if you guys haven't done so, don't forget to subscribe and like. If you are watching me on YouTube, if you are hearing me through Spotify or any of your favorite providers for podcasts, don't forget to hit follow. If you're on Spotify, you could definitely follow me. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe or follow me on my Instagram, which is Josie Says, Pues está cabrón podcast. And if you're watching me through YouTube, just hit that link down below. I always link it. And that way you guys can participate in any of my questionings. So to continue, guys, I had to flip that around, guys. It was getting on my nerves. I'm like, this is the entryway, guys, to my house. So everything is for the people that walk in. So you guys are seeing the back of it right now. But anyways, to continue. So today's episode, it took a while for me to record it, guys, because I really, really wanted to write down my thoughts. I really wanted to not be spontaneous out of nowhere. And I wrote down my notes and I typed up my notes and I screenshot and I did all the works, guys, and in the midst of cleaning out my office, I threw out the paper. So after all that preparing, guys, I have to wing it. But it's okay because I do remember what I wrote since I wrote it down. So to continue, guys, the question of the day or of the episode was, as parents, we should tell our kids all the bad shit we did in our past. Similar, might not be verbatim, but that was the questions. In other words, should we share with our children everything from our past? And that's bad. Obviously, we do want to share the good things of our past, but anything that was bad or a mess up or whatnot. A lot of you guys commented this time, and I'm very, very happy about that. If you guys want to see some of the comments, like I said, head on over to my Instagram. And I had a lot of DMs, and I think because you guys think I'm going to expose you guys or anything, just know if you are new here, if you do DM me, I do not reveal the source or the name or anything like that. But a lot of you guys, and like I said, I wanted to read some of your responses, but majority of you guys said that it all depended on the situation and not completely everything that happened. So of course, you guys know that if I had this question or it came up in my head, something might have happened or a situation happened around me, or I heard about a situation that made me want to prompt this question. And I think what I've been hearing a lot, we had a lot of get-togethers for the holidays, and I think what I was seeing as a pattern was that sometimes when we sit in a group with adults, we tend to reminisce. We all do, but I was noticing that a lot of the children were around, and the children were very attentive. They're just like all ears. Like, let me hear what my mommy did or my daddy did. In another situation arose is somebody was very, very verbatim, just devouring to their child about how much they hated school and school was not important and not to worry about it. And the reason why I think this person was saying that kind of information was because that parent was very frustrated at the point or at the Yeah, at the point that they didn't know how to explain a subject to their child. So so a lot of, like I said, a lot of you guys said it's okay to share those stories of our fuck ups if it's to teach a lesson, but not to, go too much into detail. So what does Josie think about this situation? And FYI, I asked my daughter the same question, and she literally had almost the exact same answer as myself. But my thought of this is basically the majority of you guys, what you guys said. I think the motto is, for me, are you sharing this story to show off? Because that was just the most glorious time of your life and you haven't succeeded that glorious time? Or are you sharing this story to show compassion? You get it. And I think that's where the difference lies in when you share a story. For example, let's say my son, because he's older, gets his heart broken or whatnot, right? And I remember when I got my heart broken, right? And this is just an example, guys. It really didn't happen. And when I got my heart broken, I decided I was just going to go out there and be with him, because I'm going to show my ex I'm worth it. And, I went on a whole rampage, right? So then I see my son, and when, all said and done, it wasn't a good outcome. And we've seen this happen a lot, right? You break up with somebody and you go on what they call a whole stage, guys and girls, and you think, this is going to cure all of my sad feelings. And then, long term, it was the worst thing you could ever do, right? So we learned that lesson, right? But because that stage of your whole stage, or whatever we want to call it, made such an impact on you because you felt so good, your low self-esteem of being, heartbroken, they broke up with you, is now up here because all these people, men or women, they want you, and that's what you think, right? So you get stuck in that glorious day. So now let's say my son's heartbroken and he's like, Mom, what do I do? Okay, so this is where it comes in. Do I tell him my experience to show compassion and understanding, or do I show off and tell him, baby, don't worry about it. I need you to go out there and get as much booty as you can because it ain't worth it and you're too young for this, and on and on and on? Or do I say, I know you feel like crap right now. It is the worst feeling for somebody to break up with you. I know right now you are feeling like you are not worthy, because how can this person break up with you? You thought you were doing everything right. You thought you were a good catch, and here they tell you it's not. Look, baby, it just, you guys weren't lined up. Different worlds were not ready to mesh. It's not you. What I need you to do, though, is if you need time to let it all out. Let me know what I could do to distract your mind. But what you're not going to do is go out there and think you're going to be with her, because you want to feel validated. So I think that's when you share a story. Then if you want to share a story, like, I remember when so-and-so broke up with me, one of my exes. And if you want to go there, you go there. But to just show off and then start telling yourself, because I was starting to be with that guy, and then, oh my God, I remember when I was being with them, I was also being with them, and oh my God, one time I almost got caught. I think once you start talking like that to a teenager or a young adult, their mind's not fully matured. So I think what they start thinking is like, is this the way I'm supposed to behave? Is this what I'm supposed to do? because they're looking to you for guidance and to see what worked or didn't work, right? Because they haven't been there. We've been through all the breakups and the heartaches and this is the end of my life stages, right? They haven't yet. So I feel like if you give them too much information, then they're going to act on it. They'll be like, well, if my mom did it, then why not me? I think we need to take our situations, our past, and use it to be more compassionate and understanding when our kids are going through something or they're doing something. There was this awesome example of it. I am such a Cobra Kai person right now. It's on Netflix, guy. I am addicted. We binge watched. I think we're up season 4, right, or something like that. And one of the girls needed help. And she was considered what is called a bad girl, right? But it's the circumstances of her lifestyle, her mom, the things she's going through. Her mom is making her act up, and not only that, she needs to now be the head of the household at such a young age. This character, right? That's now considered bad. Well, one of the moms in this series, I don't want to give it out to you guys if you guys haven't watched it. One of the moms, took a liking to her, and her husband was like, whoa, why are you taking liking to this little thug? She runs her mouth, she's out there doing things she shouldn't, blah 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 blah, right? And then the mom said, right, she didn't disclose this to the girl she reached out to, and now she decided to take her under her wing. She didn't disclose this information, but she told her husband, when I was her age, my parents divorced. And even though you think I had a perfect life, I too spiraled out of control to the point where she got caught shoplifting to call attention, to let people know she wasn't happy about the divorce. So I think that was the perfect example of showing compassion without telling a lot or not saying anything at all. She took the girl, the young girl, under her wing because she's been through that. She knows what it is to not have your world perfect lined up. So she took her under her wing, and the girl was a little bit confused. Even though, like I said, her husband was like, well, what are you doing? And she had to disclose that information. I know you don't know, but I got arrested. I too was in trouble with the law, and it was just that I was going through a rough patch. That is perfect. I think sometimes saying a lot and just being compassionate is more to it. I feel like another way, or another maybe, when you're sitting around and reminiscing, right? And or let's say a young lady, we all went through our wild 20s, right? I don't know why we feel we need to go through our wild 20s, but we went through them, right? And I would never disclose that to my daughter. I would never sit there and be like, oh my God, you're almost 20, you're almost 21. You get ready to party and drink it up and wake up until you're blackout. And, I don't think I held about that kind of information to my daughter. But what I would be is compassionate. I would show compassion when she gets around that age to let her know, baby, whenever you go out with friends and friends decide to leave off because they're making bad choices, call me. No judging, call me. I will pick you up from Buddy Jumped and drive you all the way back home. I just need you to call me. If you're ever in a situation where you can't drink and drive, and call us. I will wake up Dad, and Dad will bring your car back to wherever it is. And then, I think that is how I would be in the situation versus letting her know, oh, girl, in your 20s, I need you to drink it up, get blacked out. I have the cures. Why? I feel that when you do that, again, you're setting up an expectation in their little heads. Even though you want to say 21 is mature, we all know at our age, 40, that your mind is not fully developed yet to grab that concept. So to me, to divulge all that information to my daughter, I think would be very irrelevant versus showing compassion. Say she does go out, and she has a drunken night and she's home and she's hungover and she's like, Mom, turn off all the lights. Instead of yelling at her, right? make a remedy for her, because we all know the remedies now. Then even want to share a story with her how it's not worth it. Don't let alcohol control you. Everything is good in moderation. Then you could tell the story. But now because you have a reason to tell the story. And hopefully she understands, oh, my mom didn't yell at me. My mom's helping me. I'll get out of this. Yeah, it's not worth it. I feel that's the way it should be. The same with school. Like this situation I was telling you that this, parent was like, I never liked school. I barely graduated from high school. You're not going to need it. The child's very smart. The child was a little bit upset because he knew how to do the subject and matter, right? We'll say English. And his parents were like, we're not having it, I feel like when a child is very smart like that, and instead of you getting mad at yourself for not knowing how to do that material, maybe you feel offended because here is this child that knows the material and you don't. Instead of praising him and acknowledging that, oh my God, you're so smart, this is awesome, I think you set him up for failure because things do get more difficult as you enter middle school, as you enter high school. So as a parent, you don't want to leave room for them to even think that dropping out could be an option, right? Because you did it and you didn't care for it. The grades just came out, right? First semester just ended. That's why we go on winter break. My daughter got straight A's. Oh, she is just amazing. My daughter is also in 5th grade. Okay, so what I consider not too much difficult level, she got straight A's. She got honor rolls. I was so proud of her. My son got straight A's and B's, and in algebra, he got a C minus. Now, I know a lot of parents out there, might think, oh my God, a C minus in the world. What I could have yelled, right? Because, education is very important in our family, but I didn't. Because I remember when I was in middle school, science was my kryptonite. I did not enjoy science. I hated science. And all the way until I got to college, I never got anything better than a C in science. Mind you, his was in algebra. And I said, good job, baby. So now let's see what we did wrong. Maybe it was lack of organization or not staying on top of your assignments. Because, you aced your final. He almost aced it. So I told him, so maybe analyze what went wrong. I said, look, science was not my subject in middle school or high school. But I'm going to tell you something. I think I could have done a little bit better or focus a little bit more. What we're not going to ever do is get an F in any subject because that really shows lack of effort. A C showed me you tried, and hey, we'll get it better in second semester. I could have, that's showing them, hey, I understand. I know a lot of parents, like I said, will be like, don't even worry about it. Grades don't even matter. I used to get F's and I still passed middle school. Or grades don't even count until you're a senior in high school. And we all know that's not it, right? It counts from freshman because once you're a senior, you don't want to play catch up to try to graduate when you should have done it freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So I feel that, yes, I'm agreeing with you guys. If it's to share a story about, I've been there, done that, it's okay. I also feel like not too much detail, right? If your kid gets in a fight in school and, they called you up and they're like, hey, your kid got in a fight, you need to come pick him up. I think that you shouldn't divulge to the child, oh my God, it doesn't matter, because in middle school and high school, I used to get in a lot of fights. Oh, let me tell you all the fights I used to get to. And, really go into detail. Oh, and, I used to, not let go until I see blood. I don't know. Or, there wasn't a fight I didn't win. Or I feel like that really sets up the kid to be like, maybe I should be that kid too. I'm going to be the kid that fights and never loses, versus being compassionate about your son or your daughter getting in a fight. Hey, buddy, I know I don't, you let the emotions get best of you, but I'm letting you know right now through experience, it's not worth it. And we all know, we've all gotten in a couple of fights. No, just me. And, we know that for the couple of 2-3 months, you're always looking behind your back, right? Because then their homies that you got in a fight with, the person you got to fight with, homies, want to let you know they got their back, and you better not look at them funny anymore. And then you're looking and seeing who knows who. It's a mess. It's a mess when you get in fight in high school and in middle school. It becomes a mess. So maybe explain that aspect of it. Hey, baby, it's going to be messy if you start this cycle, so let it go, squash it, let them throw darts. People will throw darts. They just want to see who will get triggered, and then you become that person, and then it just a snowball effect, right? So, but never go into details. Like I said, don't go in there and be like, oh, I used to, always win the fights, and if I didn't see blood, I didn't stop, or I left them in hospitals, that there now, I feel like that's the part of, are you doing it to show off? Are you doing it to show compassion? And obviously right there is to show off. And like I said, I feel kids that even young adults, from elementary all the way to like early 20s, they're so like, they admire you secretly, whether you guys believe me or not, and they're looking at you and they're like, oh, if my mom didn't, my dad didn't, then why shouldn't I? Right? Because kids will only pay attention to the wrong things you did. Well, you did it too, versus the good thing, right? Because if they don't graduate high school and you did, they don't, obviously they're like, oh, because you didn't graduate high school, they feel like, oh yeah, well, it's not a big thing. But if you didn't graduate high school and they didn't graduate high school, now they're like, well, you didn't either. You can't tell me anything. So I feel like they always pay attention to the things we did wrong and to throw it in our faces versus the things that we did right and try to mimic and follow path. Do that make sense? So yeah, guys, like I said, I apologize that I had my notes and I had my bullet points and I had all your guys's responses. And like I said, I accidentally cleaned out my office to start a new year me, and it went away with it. So I promise to be more responsible next time, guys. I really do. So I hope you guys like this episode. In conclusion, in the end, again, it does fall under parenting ways, and it's all in the end whatever you think it's appropriate or is the right thing for your child. I'm just putting it out there, like I said, and like I said, majority of you guys were on board, not too much. My daughter, guys, as I mentioned, I asked her this question, and my daughter said the exact thing. Mom, I don't want to know any of your stories, but I do want you to be compassionate and understanding if I go through it, to understand why I'm going through it. And I'm like, that's exactly what's going to happen. She's like, I don't need the details. I don't need names, and I don't need any of that. I just need you to understand me and not judge me. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm 100% in. So I thought that was so cool. I asked her to be a guest on my podcast, and she said no. So, but that's what she said, guys. So I want to appreciate you guys so much for this, which is season 3, episode 2. Like I said, I will be posting another one pretty soon. If I don't post a question, it will be like last episode where I just went on here and told you guys about opinion I had about something. So I hope you guys stay tuned. There will be another podcast pretty soon, episode 3. That one is a little bit more, I think it's going to trigger a lot of people out there. It's something that I have been seeing a lot trending on my TikTok. So yes, guys, it's a TikTok themed podcast. You don't want to miss it. So subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, like me on Spotify, and follow me on Instagram. And I will definitely see you guys in my next episode. Bye, guys.